boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. NFL week number 5. Alright, week 4. A little bit better for me than week 3 was. Went win-loss 12-4 against the spread 9-7, 8-8 on the over-under. Brings me to a year total of win-loss 39-24 against the spread of 27-36, over-under of 33-30. Alright, we got a Thursday night non-traditional matchup, I guess you would say, because normally it's the same division. This is 2 different conferences. New England, once again on primetime on Thursday night. We all know what they did the last time they were on primetime. They didn't do so hot. We got New England at 2-2 versus the 2-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. New England favored by 5.5, with an over/under of 54.5. You got the old Patriots going to Florida. Gonna think I'm crazy. Tampa Bay, I'm giving Tampa Bay the 5.5. I got the Buccaneers winning, covering, and under on the 54.5. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers at 3-1 versus the 3-1 Detroit Lions. This should be a great matchup. Detroit favored by 3 points at home. I'm giving the 3 points to Carolina. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 44. Next, we have the New York Jets at 2-2 versus the 0-4 Cleveland Browns. Cleveland favored by 2 at home. Why? Once again, I'm giving the 2 points to the Jets. I got them winning, covering, under in the 39. That actually is the theme this week. I don't understand why. I mean, I know the Jets are a flaming pile of dog shit, but Cleveland's worse. I mean, come on, folks. Whatever. So yeah, that's a running theme this week. It seems like a lot of times where I'm just like taking the other team. So we'll see how I do. We have the Los Angeles Chargers at 0-4 versus the New York Giants at 0-4. Battles of the 0-4 teams. We've had this each week. We've had a undefeated, a winless team versus a winless team. Yeah, Giants are favored by 3.5 at home. I'm only taking the Giants because you get the Chargers traveling clear across the country, and that seems, for whatever weird reason, the West Coast seems not do well during that sometimes. So I guess Eli gets his first win. I got the Chargers covering. It'll be like a 2-3 point game if that. So I'm taking under 44.5. So it won't be an exciting game. It'll be a game. Next we have the 3-1 Buffalo Bills versus the 1-3 Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are favored by 3 at home. Give them the 3 to Buffalo. I got Buffalo winning, covering, and over on the 38.5. Next, we have the Arizona Cardinals at 2-2 versus the Philadelphia Eagles at 3-1. Phillies favored by 6.5 at home. Again, you got the West Coast traveling to the East Coast. Philly winning, covering the 6.5, and over on the 44. Next game is kind of tough to kind of figure out here. I get Tennessee at 2-2 versus Miami Dolphins at 1-2. Mariota's questionable after last week. Tennessee is actually favored by 3. I'm going with Miami. I'm giving them the 3 points. I get them covering and under in the 40.5. Next, we have the San Francisco 49ers at 0-4 versus the 1-3 Indianapolis Colts. So I think the Colts would be 0-4 if it wasn't for them facing Cleveland. Indy's favored by 1.5. I got them winning, covering, and over in the 43. Next, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at 2-2 versus the 3-1 Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers favored by 8.5 at home. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 44. Next, we have the Seattle Seahawks versus the Los Angeles Rams. 2-2 versus a 3-1. If you went back to the beginning of the season and looked at week 5, would you believe me if I would have said Seattle 2-2, the Los Angeles Rams 3-1? I don't think anyone would have believed that. LA favored by 2.5 at home, with an over/under of 46.5. The Rams moving from LA to St. Louis was at 95. Having some shitty years. 99. They won the Super Bowl. Greatest show in turf era. 2 out of 3 Super Bowls. Won one, lost one. Up until, '03, they were like the greatest show in turf still. And then as Kurt Warner left to go to New York and on to Arizona, and Mark Bulger took over, and Orlando Pace retired, and Marshall Faulk retired, and Torrey Holt and Isaac, and just the collapse happened in St. Louis, and 5 wins in 4 years or something stupid like that. And then they leave and go back to LA, and they were still a heaping pile of shit when they went to LA, and here they are 3-1. They fired Jeff Fisher. They should have done that years ago. Just like last week, I picked the Rams upset over Dallas last week, so this ain't an upset, boys and girls. The Rams are for real. I got the Rams favored by 2.5. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 46.5. Next, we have the battle of the 2-2. We had the Baltimore Ravens at 2-2 versus the Oakland Raiders Baltimore Ravens versus the Oakland Raiders. Both teams 2-2. Derek Carr is out for this game. I still got Oakland winning, covering. They were favored by 4.5. I got them covering that under on the 41.5. Next, we have the 3-1 Green Bay Packers versus the 2-2 Dallas Cowboys. Dallas favored by 2.5 at home. I'm picking Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers needs to throw for 4 more touchdowns, along with 300 yards. And all 4 touchdowns need to go to Jordy Nelson. He needs to have 10 catches for 150. The gist is they're both on my fantasy team that I won last week, so I need them to do well this week. So I really want to beat the guy I'm playing this week. It's a friend family league, and playing my nephew, and I really want to beat him. So I get Green Bay by 2.5, covering that under on the 52.5. Next, we have the only undefeated team left in the NFL. Are they not the king of primetime? And here they are in primetime again on Monday night. We have the Kansas City Chiefs, 4-0. Coming off an amazing 29-20 victory last night over Washington. Week 1, they beat New England on primetime. Here they are on Sunday Night Football versus the 2-2 Houston, Texas. Let's go Chiefs. Chiefs going to 5-0. Got them covering the 1.5 and then over on the 44. Monday Night Football. Do we have Mitch Trubisky making his NFL debut? Devin Cook out for Minnesota. Bradford out for Minnesota, but I think between Latavius Murray and Case Keenum, Minnesota should be just fine. They're 2-2. The Bears are 1-3. The Mitch Trubisky era begins. With a loss, I got Minnesota favored by 3. I got them covering. I'm taking over on 35. So that will wrap up Week 5 of the Week 5 of the NFL football season. Make sure you check out the Week 6 NCAA on Rubber Sports Show. If you're a NASCAR fan, check out the NASCAR Round 2 Playoffs preview, NASCAR Bank of America 500 preview. If you're a MLB fan, I got the MLB Wild Card Playing Game preview up. And then, which more than likely by the time this video is up, that will be already done. I'll have the MLB Wild Card Round Playoffs preview up. I got WWE Hell in a Cell preview up. Are coming up. Just a lot of videos this week on Rubber Sports Show. Make sure you check them out. As always, thanks for watching Rubber Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Rubber Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.